quite simply some of the stupidest answers to any question asked of anyone in the history of the world, including a paraphrase. Do you think road cones slow people down? No. Okay. Have at it.
So you don't have evidence at the moment that reducing road cones...
Pardon, just to let you know, sorry about that. I actually cut out, because I'm trying to make it a bit short, I cut out the first bit. They've done 2 minutes on this before, where she's actively said there's no evidence they have to show that fewer road cones will keep people safer, because that's their position. Fewer road cones will keep people safer. That's the position. Both people on the road and people working. Fewer road cones will keep people safer. Where's the evidence for that? We have none. So that's what Jack's referring to.
I think you'll find it is as well.
So you don't have evidence at the moment that reducing road cones will save lives. It's a theory at the moment, but you are focused on productivity. NZTA puts the statistical value of a human life at $12.5 million. So how many road cones would have to be removed to justify even one additional death?
Look, Jack, I'm not getting into numbers like that. I think that's a very dangerous game to get into. But what we do know...
Sorry, Minister, isn't that your job?
No, what we do know is that when...
I don't think she's ever had a job description before. She's just had one. You know, doing the cost-benefit analysis. That's exactly the job, the cost-benefit analysis, and that's a really harsh, heavy way he's put it, but it's what he's doing.
But what we do know...
Sorry, Minister, isn't that your job?
No, what we do know is that when people see road cones, there is a frustration with them, which means that people have more anger and more aggression.
So 50 people are angry, so more people can die. That seems like a pretty fair trade-off.
There is a frustration with them, which means that people have more anger and more aggression.
But they also slow down.
They don't see the harm. Are they slowing down? I don't think that's the case. You go and just stake out a 30k area just for a couple of minutes to see whether or not people are actually slowing down. And I think you'll find that they're really not.
But you think that reducing road cones will make them slow?
Please, TVNZ, you're our last hope. Get a camera, go out to some road cones. Like, if she had said when they make the limit 30 k's an hour around road cones, no one's going 30, probably would agree with that, right? Because we're all doing 40 or 42 or 45 in a 50. But to say people aren't slowing down, that's testable. That is testable. Have got any students watching who are working on their stats research for this year? Go and test it. Are they slowing down? If they are, by how much? Because what she's literally saying is that she doesn't believe that road cones will slow people down. So you know those road cones that kind of zip in and out and make you turn it into like this one, yes, not slowing down. Or those ones that have lights at either end, not slowing down. That's what I'm saying. Some of the stupidest answers in the history of interviews worldwide, which is saying something because Donald Trump's been fucking interviewed before.
Down, and I think you'll find that they're really not.
But you think that reducing road cones will make them slow down?
That's right, because we'll see fewer of them, but we'll actually be able to identify that when we do see a road cone in the future, that it's actually linked to genuine harm. I think the problem that we're facing is because we've become so accustomed to seeing road cones everywhere, and we no longer associate them with harm but frustration. People don't obey them. They don't slow down. They don't see any harm. They don't reduce their speed and could lead to more accidents. Whereas in the future, my hope is that when we see road cones out on the streets, we acknowledge that there is a reason for it. It's there to reduce risk, reduce harm, and it's there to keep the work site safe.
I'm like, you know, I used to do debating at school, and you get a moot and you find a way to argue either side of it. How do you argue road cones don't slow people down? Or fewer road cones makes the road safer? Like, I can't even think of an argument that I don't agree with if I had to pick that out of the hat and do 4, you know?
So so they're replacing a pipe in the road, or they're fixing a draining ditch or something.
Yeah.
And previous to this remarkably important piece of legislation for that road site, let's pull a number out of my ass, that they would have used 100 road cones.
Yep.
And now they're
Which,
going to use...
hang on, stop, don't go on. and that's not causing people to slow down, and they don't
Yep.
see that as important.
Because
Could I
you
add those
see
two things?
100,
Yep.
You see 100 road cones.
Yep.
That's far too many. Your
Yep.
brain blots out and you
Yep.
go past it 100.
Yep.
Or
You might even speed up.
and now they're changing that so they'll use 50 road cones and
Yep.
you go, right, that's less road cone, so it's important.
Yeah, because you see
Or
the road cones now.
Or are they saying that the job of replacing the pipe or the draining ditch or whatever we're using in this example isn't a job that needs road cones at all? It's not
Well, they
important enough.
They haven't said that, but we say this about ACT and their small government. Are we saying logically zero road cones is the best outcome they can have? Because if fewer is better,
that's-
when you get to the end of fewer, it's zero.